Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Early Access Podcast. This is episode 86, I believe, and this is the Game of the Year episode. Woo! This is literally going to go up the last day of the year, and I hope everybody had a great Christmas and holiday, and I hope tonight into tomorrow you stay safe and have a good New Year's. So I want to thank you guys for sticking by with me as I took days off for the holidays. I just wanted to enjoy my time off. Really didn't do much except for hang out with family and open presents and stuff. I got this cool, if you're watching the video, be awesome. It's a cool little vinyl decal I got on the wall behind me. But yeah, I haven't done much. All I've done was nothing. I didn't do anything. I just hung out and drank and ate and did a bunch of cool stuff. So yeah, I just took some time off. It gave me an opportunity to go back and play some of the games I'm going to talk about in this episode. It's going to be, it might be a little bit long. I don't know. Excuse me. There's not going to be any new stuff in this one. So no new games. If I miss anything over last week, I apologize. Maybe I'll hit it up on the first episode in the new year. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get around to that, just because of the fact that, early access games tend to come and go. But I will keep an eye on them just in case there's anything that I'm interested in that I missed that maybe you guys would be interested in, since, that's how this shit goes now. So yeah, I hope everybody had a good holiday, and again, thank you for sticking by me as I took some time off. Just give you guys a heads up until January 4th, so you're going to have a few more days with this. The big end-of-year Steam winter sale is happening right now. So there's a bunch of really cool games up today. This is going to be yesterday, but you're going to be able to grab them in the... I think it shows them for a little while, the games at this discount. But... let's see what we got here. So some of the games in Steam sale, you got 7 Ways to Die at 55% off. You got the Don't Starve games somewhere between 10 and 75% off. So those are both great. Elite Dangerous is 50% off, which I actually might pick up with the new expansion that had just come out. Pretty interested in that. Postal 2. What else we got here? You got Craft the World. I don't know anything about that one. The Amnesia Collection is 75% off. Vanishing of Ethan Carter, I heard good things about. That's 70% off. The Wolf Among Us Telltale point-and-click adventure is 75% off. If you don't already own it, Rocket League is 30% off. Ark is 40% off, which is actually one of the games I'm going to talk about in the Game of the Year discussion. Elite Dangerous, 50% off. Hey, is it 2 different percents off? No, they're just in different spots. Fallout 17% off. So if you haven't picked that up yet, you can get that for $50 right now. Let's see, Rust is half off for $10. I like that game. Undertale, I've heard great things about. That's $8, 20% off. Dying Light 66% off. So you can grab that for $20. Rainbow Six Siege is on sale. Witcher, go pick up Witcher 3 for $30. That's a steal. That game was great. Go pick up Witcher 3. What else we got here? Got a bunch of Star Wars games on sale. The Force Unleashed 2 was great, especially at $6. They're both $6, but it was a little short. That's the only problem I had with that game. H1Z1 is 35% off. That's worth $13. I would go pick that up if you're into like those like first-person survival games, like pseudo survival. It's more just like first-person perpetual roguelike. But yeah, go check out the end of the year Steam winter sale. It's great. It's a good time to pick up games. I usually do it every year around this time. All right, so we're gonna jump right into the Game of Year discussion since there's nothing else really to talk about. I haven't really played anything except for some of these games. I went back and checked them out. So the first game I'm gonna talk about is, as I mentioned, Ark Survival Evolved. This game now has an absurd number of reviews since I talked about it. It is at 73% positive with almost 54,000 reviews. Like I said, it's 40% off, so it's $18. Now, what I really liked about Ark, so Ark Survival Evolved is a survival game. It takes place in a world with dinosaurs. You can tame dinosaurs, you can ride them, you can join other people, you can have factions. It's just like every other survival game. But what it does is it does just some really neat things with the creatures in the game, which I find a lot of these survival games haven't really nailed, and I feel like it's something that Ark has really hit well. They managed to blend that first-person survival game with an actual like ecosystem that feels lived in, like feels real. There's other creatures around, except for, you get games like Rust where it's like there's like 5 or 6 different type of enemies. I don't know where they're at now, but it's just one of those games. The other reason I recommend it as one of my top early access games of this year is because the work that they've been putting into trying to fix a lot of the problems with this game. I know when it first came out, even I had I have a pretty decent computer, and I had a lot of problems playing this game at anything that wasn't like just shitty settings. And I know that they've been really consistent with their updates. I think that has a lot more to do with the fact that they're pushing for a console release for this game. So it's going to be coming out on the consoles at some point in the near future. So, for a game that was coming into a crowded survival marketplace, I feel like Ark took that format and separated themselves enough where they've managed to grow this incredible fan base, and that's something to be admired. So if you're looking for an interesting survival game and you don't mind dealing with just maybe not the best optimization just yet, you can trust in the fact that this game has been consistently updated, and it does, like I said, it does have a console release in the future, so you will be seeing more fixes out of this game coming up. I would recommend going and watching some YouTubers and streamers play this game a little bit more than I have. There's a lot to be had here. There's a lot to offer. I would just recommend that if you're going to jump in now, make sure you have a PC that can handle the frame rate and the bug and the optimization problems, because it doesn't look good when you have to play it on a super low setting like that. All right. So let me see. Do I have any other survival games? I did want to give an honorable mention to Savage Lands. Let me pop that up. Savage Lands is another first-person survival game that, again, does something just as interesting as Ark. I didn't have as many optimization problems with it, which it seems like a lot of people did with that. Again, another game that's been the developers have been out there. They've been talking about it. They do live streams of their own game all the time. This has got it's got a much more streamlined gameplay in it. There is a lot of enemies. It feels more like an open world survival RPG, like in the effect that there's a lot more creatures and story in this game as opposed to some of the other survival games that we're used to. So you can get out there and you can run around the woods, and there's you find different types of enemies. Like there's like skeletal warriors, there's a dragon, there's all kinds of stuff like that. Same thing there, you're building bases and whatnot. 74% positive with 2,800 reviews, but it's only $7.50 right now. It's 50% off until January 4th as well. So go check that out. Savage Lands, definitely a runner-up as far as first-person survival games go. It's doing a lot of the same things as Ark, and in my opinion, it does some things a little bit better, like the optimization's a little bit better, and a lot of it just feels like the game has more of a story. There's more to it than just an open world survival game. It feels lived in, which is something that I don't know if I feel like Ark has that. I don't know if Ark feels lived in like that. All right, so the next game is the game Frank and John. Now, this game came out early in the year. It's only got 14 reviews, 71% positive. It's 34% off until January 4th, so it's $9.89. Now, I really enjoyed this game when I first played it, and it's only gotten better over time. The developer's done a good job of bug fixes and adding new helmets and stuff like that. So this is a twin stick, kind of like a twin stick shooter. It's like a third person twin stick shooter, kind of. So if you've listened before, but if not, you play as a little character where your head is attached to a chain, and you use your head as a weapon. So you throw that at enemies that you run across in the world. It's got a great art style. It's very charming. It's definitely something to check out, especially with it being on sale right now. I think it's just gotten better over time. So it's a little roguelike style RPG. Each different helmet you wear does different things, makes your character do different things. And it's an interesting take on the twin stick, like top down to like 3/4 view. I guess it's kind of third person-y type of game. So definitely go check out Frank and John. Definitely up there in one of my top games this year. All right, next game is a game that I played in July. Now I watched this game get ready for a while. It's called The Bug Butcher. 97% positive out of 420 reviews, which is incredible. It's $8. The art style in this game is amazing. It's got a wonderful hand-drawn art style. It's very cartoony, but it's just awesome. Now this is like, moving left and right, kind of Donkey Kong style. The original like Donkey Kong style, where you're shooting up at your enemies as they're dropping from the sky. If you remember the original Donkey Kong, where you're shooting your little, where Mario is shooting the hell is it? The bug spray. Yeah, you're shooting the bug spray. It looks like I'm jerking somebody off. That's horrible. So you're shooting the bug spray up, and you're killing the mosquitoes. That version of that game. That's what this is like, but each creature's unique. It's got different animations. They have different abilities. The game is incredibly challenging, and it looks great. It's just such a fun game. You get different upgrades as you go along. Go check out the quick look I did when I got my hands on it at first. Again, another game where they keep adding updates. Like they have one as recently as a couple weeks ago. And it just looks beautiful. It's a great art style. Like that was the first thing I noticed. It's like super cartoony, but like I don't know. Everything about it was just delightful to me. And it's incredibly challenging, and it plays really well. The shooting feels good. I can't say enough about it. So The Bug Butcher definitely makes the list of early access games to check out this year. All right. The next game is called Dig or Die. This came out in March. It's 94% positive, 1,200 reviews or so. It is $5. This game definitely took many, many hours out of my life. So it's a Terraria-style like side-scrolling survival game. So this is another one of those survival games. So you're running around, you're digging or dying. So it's a survival game where you're crafting and you're trying to figure stuff out. This game did some things that I found incredibly interesting that other games of this type didn't do. So you're building a base, you're building defenses. It has a day-night cycle, and every time at night what would happen is bugs would come and try to destroy your base, and you are trying to progress along to build a rocket ship to escape the planet that you're stranded on. So it does have an end game. Now it gets harder. There's different modes, like there's different difficulty levels in the game. It took me probably 12 hours to get through the first difficulty of this game. It's incredibly challenging, even in the normal difficulty, to figure out exactly what you got to do. There's a couple interesting world puzzles that you come across that you have to brute force and problem solve. Like, for instance, at one point you have to build a bridge across this chasm, and the game actually has a weight system, so you actually have to trellis this bridge and try to connect to the other side to find resources to continue progressing throughout the game. And it's definitely a stopgap. And then there's another one at some point, and there's been updates since then. The most recent update for this game, 21st of this month. So the developer, and if I'm not mistaken, it's one person developing this game. And like I said, with 94% positive, it is an amazing game. I had so much fun with this game. I went back and checked out some more of it, and it's just only gotten better. So Dig or Die is definitely one of my top 5 games to play for early access this year. So the next game, you know what? There's a lot of open world survival games that I just didn't realize. I played a lot of those this year, even though I really tried not to. So this game I did put a lot of time into, and actually put out a tutorial video of it, and I've been following along with it from a distance over the past couple weeks. This actually had an update that came out today that fixed a bunch of bugs. Now this game is called Empyrean Galactic Survival. 86% positive with 1,800 reviews. It's 40% off until January 4th, just like a lot of the other games. So it's $10.79 right now. Now this is a open world survival game. It's single player, and I think it has multiplayer co-op now. So basically, what happens is it seems like they're trying to do things that No Man's Sky isn't going to do, but in a way that's great. So what it is you end up starting on a Earth planet. You have crash landed on an Earth planet. You have your little space pod that you had, and then you must go around and mine resources and survive, build a base, collect resources to build a ship to leave that planet. And I'm not sure how many planets there are now. I didn't really check when I got a chance to look at it. I didn't go back and look. But when I was playing, the last time I played it, there was 4 other planets. So basically, you can build a ship and actually leave the planet that you're stranded on. Each planet has a different ecosystem, different creatures, different resources that you can find. You can leave your planet. You have to build a ship that's good enough to escape the orbit of this planet, and you can fly to another planet, land, collect new resources. You can build giant battleships out in space. It's like, there's just like, it works really well, and it was very complicated, and it's a lot of fun to get in there and explore. And the coolest thing is just leaving planets and entering other planets' atmospheres. It was a game that came out of nowhere for me, and like it really just pulled me in and absorbed a lot of my time, enough so that I even put out a tutorial video for it. So if you're looking for a space sim that's not too simmy, if you're looking for something that's, not even simmy, but if you're looking for a space type game, like open world survival game, this might be up your alley, only because of the fact that like it does a lot of things, takes a lot of elements from other games, and executes them in a really interesting way. So go check out Empyrean Galactic Survival. I put a shit ton of hours into that game, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I put any hours in the survival games. They always end up the same for me, where I get 50 hours in, and I'm like, what did I just do with 50 hours of my life? All right, now this game, I'm surprised it doesn't have more reviews, because this was incredibly impressive. So this game is called Monstrum. It's got 93% positive reviews out of 500. It's $9, so it's 50% off until the 4th as well. If you're looking for a first-person horror game, I cannot recommend one enough. Like I can't recommend one more than Monstrum. So what Monstrum does is, you are stranded on a ship in the middle of the ocean with a monster. However, it's procedural, so the ship itself isn't, but what monster you're hiding from is. So the level, like where items end up on the ship, are procedurally generated, but the ship is basically the same. So what happens is, you must collect certain items to satisfy one of the escape routes. And on top of that, the monster you're actually running from or hiding from throughout the game is also random. So there's one of several monsters that you could be hiding from. Plus, the escape routes that you have available, you have to find out by exploring this dark ship in the middle of the night and try to escape. It is a very challenging and scary game, but it's incredibly satisfying when you actually accomplish your goal. No playthrough is the same. You'll get your money's worth out of this game. It's incredibly fun. The most recent update was the 29th of October, so it's been a couple months. But that was their Oculus build, so now you can go and play this first-person horror game with an Oculus VR if that's what you have. I would recommend going and checking out my first look from when I reviewed it for the first time. Go watch some of the videos. The monsters are terrifying. There's some really good moments in this game. There's a lot of what the fuck moments. You're scared a lot. You're running away a lot. It's a very scary game. So I would go check that out. Monstrum. Yeah, it's totally worth checking out. All right, I just want to point out none of these are in any particular order. I only have a couple more games left, and I'm sure I missed something. And if I did, I apologize. You know, I enjoyed most of the games I played this year, but that was by design. I tried to pick games that I thought I would find interesting, so I didn't have to talk shit on a game. I don't like doing that. I'd much rather play games that I'm interested in. Because then I have something positive to talk about. There's something to talk about. If it's a shitty game, like, you know, I just won't talk about it. Or if it already has negative reviews, I won't talk about it. Like, I don't want to play bad games for you guys, you know. So if I'm not talking about it and you find it and it's got negative reviews, there's probably a reason for it. All right, so this game I also poured an excessive amount of hours in, and again, it was a game that came out of left field. I didn't expect to get sucked into it, but I did, and it's called Void Expanse. So this is also mostly positive, 72%, 341 reviews, 35% off until January 4th, or you can buy the 4-pack for $29 until January 4th as well. The single version is $9. So it's got single player, multiplayer, cross-platform multiplayer, and co-op. I personally never played any of the co-op, but it seems like a great game to play co-op with your friends. So now this is a procedurally generated space sim. You start off on a starting planet, and then from there it is up to you. It's a top-down, you know, thruster-based little ship. You know, not twin stick, but it's a space sim. So you got to move your thrusters left and right, all that jazz. It's incredibly good. The trading in it, the upgrades of your ship, it's incredibly in depth. It was not expected at all, and I got so far into it. I don't even know if I actually ever finished. I don't think I ever finished a playthrough, because technically you could never really finish. There is a story that's happening, that's unfolding as you work your way through the different factions and everything. But essentially, you can do whatever you want. You can become like a smuggler. You know, if you want to be a Han Solo, you can smuggle shipments in and out of dangerous territories and try to get as much money as possible. There is trade routes and everything that you can follow. You can join one of the different factions throughout the game, and choose your allegiances. It's an incredibly deep sim game that came out of nowhere for me. And it's not in early access anymore. I don't know when it launched officially, unless it wasn't in early access when I played it. And now I'm just crazy. Hold on. Now I gotta check. I could have swore it launched in early access. Let's see. Steam coming soon. Second, you can purchase game net. After release. Now we're ready. I must have played it before the release. That must be what it is. Either way, it was still one of my favorite early access games. Even if it wasn't actually early access, still one of my favorites. Go check out Void Expanse. Alright, so the last game I have for you guys is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, early access games that came out this year. And it's called Duskers. 97% positive with only a sad 169 reviews. I really wish this game had more reviews, because it's incredibly unique and does a lot of things that I've never seen before, and it's called Duskers. Now it's $20. I know that's a little bit on the expensive side, but it's definitely a game that I supported early, and I know I got the game for free because it was a review copy. However, I think it's worth your $20. The developer has been updating this game consistently since it came out in August, as recently as an update on December 11th. So, Duskers is a unique survival game where you play like you're one of a few drones on a ship, and you are exploring these ships and scavenging for loot, trying to move your way through the solar system from derelict spaceship to derelict spaceship to space station, etc., trying to survive and figure out what exactly is happening. Now, the game works through a series of command prompts, so you type everything through a console window, and then there's also a visual aspect that looks kind of like an old monitor, and it looks amazing, and it's got a gameplay that's unique to this game. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a very interesting type of game, and it's very hard to explain it without having you watch it. So I urge you to go check out my videos that I did for it. I did a couple videos for it. Definitely go check it out. I personally think it's worth the $20 for whatever you end up getting out of it. Plus, even if you only get a few hours out of it and you just sit on it until it releases, I'm sure you'll get your money's worth. But that one was made by Misfits Attic, and it's definitely up there. It might be my favorite early access game I played this year. Even to the point where this was the game when I was when I got my clip onto the Indoor Kids crowdsourced podcast. My 30-second clip was about this game. That was my review. I did a 30-second review of Duskers, and it was because I thought it was a game that really needed to get out there, and I think that's why Duskers is my personal favorite for Game of the Year for early access this year. It was just a ton of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recommend everybody checking it out. I know it's a little bit expensive, but it's definitely one of my favorite games, early access games this year. But that's going to do it for this year. That's going to do it for this episode, and that's going to do it for this year, guys. I want to thank you for sticking through. I know it hasn't been a complete year for the show yet. We're at 10 months, so a couple months will be the 1-year anniversary. But I've gotten a lot of great followers. I want to thank everybody that continues to come back and listens to the show. I know it can be a little bit dry. It's a lot of statistics and whatnot. But I try to keep them relatively short so that it doesn't bore you. I try to inject a little bit of humor every once in a while, but, can't be funny all the time. But I've had a blast doing this so far, and I want to wish you guys a Happy New Year. And thank you for listening to the show. As usual, don't forget to check out the Amazon banner on earlyaccessmedia.com. Click through whenever you buy anything off of Amazon. It really does help out the show. Go follow us on Twitter at earlyaccesspc. Go like us on Facebook, Early Access Podcast over there on Facebook. But that's going to do it for this year, guys. And I will see you next year for the next episode. Until next time, this is Angelo with Early Access Podcast and earlyaccessmedia.com. I'll see you guys next year.